Hey there, Dr. Charlie here. Welcome to today. Let us take three deep gathering breaths and join together for a few minutes today. I'm going to cradle my head. So I'm going to place one hand on my forehead and one hand kind of at the back of my neck. I guess I'm supposed to turn this way. The back of my neck. That's not better. Just kind of there's lymph node points there, and it helps me collect myself. So I'm going to take my three deep breaths from here. You're welcome to join me. Breathe in and release. Twice more. And release. One more time. Take a big gathering breath. Fill up your belly and release. It's been a couple of days. Sometimes we can't see or know what the larger picture looks like. We can only see our piece or our part or literally what we can see without knowing the other pieces at play. This shows up all the time for me. It used to be, I remember when I was in college, undergrad, I I would I still do this, but it shows up in different ways. I would hold on to anger. I would build little things up, and then when I was finally ready to maybe confront, the person's grandmother had died. Some big life event that made it completely inappropriate for me to be confrontational at that time. And I would say it's true in different ways. It has shifted. Where I still collect things before necessarily speaking up about them. And that's getting better, I would say. But really not knowing all of the things that are in play and understanding that things shift, that information may shift, that feelings may shift, that your whole spirit, your whole countenance may shift, and that's not going to work with the things that used to be. If I'm if I'm going through the alphabet A B C and that shifts to numbers and suddenly I'm going through the numbers, it doesn't necessarily fit anymore. And I think that's true with people, with ideas. Ideas in particular in this moment of global pandemic is when this is being taped in 2020. And the shift in ideas, sometimes we've been thinking an idea so long that when a new one comes, even if it makes sense, we don't have the tools to deal with it. We have no idea what to do with this new idea. And I think that is, I would guess rather, that may be one of the ways through, because it's not just a global pandemic of COVID-19, the coronavirus. In the United States, there is a great reckoning that is happening where white folks in particular, but non black folks more broadly, are really being faced with ideas about black folks. It's not just black folks. That seems to be in the most prominent eye because the United States really likes things in black and white at a literal racial level. But black folks have been on display as um, dispensable, maybe. And there's suddenly been a lot of pushback. And I would bet that many of the people who espouse white supremacy, for instance, are following the loudest voice. they may not fully 100% be on board with everything that is said and the actions that follow it. They may be. I don't actually know. This is speculation on my part. But my guess is that there are varying levels of being committed to a thing, but no good alternatives. If you've been thinking something for all of your life and suddenly a new thought comes, it might make sense, except you don't know what to do with it. You don't have the tools to make it effective. And so you may dismiss it as if it didn't make sense. And yet that thought will persist in different forms and it'll show up again because it might make sense. Learning tools to sit with difficulty is a very useful skill. It's very practical, yes, but also deeply rewarding when you come through the difficulty to have figured out the tools to get through it. That's true for the grief that I've been feeling this week, and the sense of loss and the sense of having to pick up the pieces from being shattered, and the disbelief and all the things that go with grief when you lose a loved one. And I think that may be true at the identity level, both individually and collectively. I spend a great deal of time observing and processing and synthesizing what I've observed. I tend to put things together in in a way that pulls from a lot of different aspects, a lot of different areas, because I'm naturally curious. And I think I wrote about this in an article recently that the way out is to make sure that the people whose voices are the loudest and the angriest are also included. Um, White supremacists are as much a part of the United States as others are, and they're not they're not letting go of their United States easily or quietly. But why are they so angry? Um, and perhaps some of them have shifted into a new space, into new ideas, and don't know what to do with them. So I think that is a good leaving place. What is it that is arising for you that you may not know what to do with? And what are some resources that you can survey, that you can look into, that may help you learn how to deal with it, what to do with this new thing, this shifting in perspective or identity or location, whatever it is for you that may have shifted. What do you do with it? Until we meet again, it is my sincere desire that you take great care. Bye now.